here's the thing. Christians in the modern era are cowards. It's that plain. Not, I mean, questions about whether like the majority or the solid middle of Christians are even, or evangelicals, I'll use that term instead, are even Christians or even believers, even have faith in God, because simply, I mean, they don't go to church, they don't read their Bible, they don't pray, they don't spend time in meditation on God's Word, they don't spend time, like, just statistically worldwide, that's the truth. But let's widen it out, let's make it a little more precise. Let's say Western, European, North American. If you get out of there, you get into the third world, things are a little different. But it's just Western context. Christians are cowards. What I mean by that is right now we're experiencing a public health crisis, which for our generations, the ones that are currently alive, this is new territory. There hasn't been a major like world health crisis in a long time. Like, at least not to the point where they were shuttering businesses and things, like in a long time. And so, quite honestly, people are just kind of responding out of basic instincts, hoarding things. The whole toilet paper, bread, like you can't buy bread. It's by some miracle there's dairy available at the local stores where I'm at, and there's gas. Gas is the lowest it's been in a decade, but it's just this is not the first time Christians, as far as a longitudinal definition, have dealt with public health circumstances. In the Roman Empire, there was obviously a lot more disease and a lot more just infectious diseases, respiratory diseases, stuff like that would just go through the cities because lack of cleanliness and things. And as these diseases would tear through I say large because a large city back then doesn't even hold a candle to New York City in the modern era with its 8 million, or some places like Dubai or Beijing that are in the tens of millions of people. But the large cities, the densely populated cities like Rome, Ephesus, they would have diseases come through them, and so over time people would flee those cities, fleeing the disease. But there was a certain group of people that would not abandon the cities. They would go into them and care for the people that were sick, dying. And it was the Christians. And they gained a reputation for doing so, that they would risk themselves, risk their health, risk their comfort in order to be compassionate towards those that were being abandoned, desecrated, and deserted by their own kinsmen. And, I mean, let's not color code it, or candy coat it or anything. Let's not sugarcoat anything because of the fact that just because they were doing a nice thing that God protected them. Actually, many of them died. Many of those Christians who were caring for others in leprosy or whatever plagues, many of them died from that disease. And we, or at least from the secularized communities and cultures that we live in now, might say, well, that was foolish. That was stupid. Why would they do that? Why would they put their families at risk? Why would they do that? And the simple fact is, because compassion is intrinsically connected to the gospel. Instead, we have here in America at least, people carrying guns to the grocery store to get some toilet paper because they're afraid of being robbed. People hoarding things, and I've even seen a few of like, I'm hoarding it so that I can share them with the people that I know. If they get run out of things, they can come to me for it. Or you could have just left it there. You could have just left it there. Somebody who needed it could have just gone and gotten it. Don't try to glossy up. Don't try to paint up and put makeup on your bowl. Don't, like, why are you that self-deceived that you're willing to think that anyone believes you when you say things like that? They don't. You're hoarding things because it's about comfort and convenience. Notice people are hoarding toilet paper, and they're not hoarding non-perishable goods and foods. Toilet paper is a convenience and a comfort item. People are scrambling for comfort in an unstable world, which is the perfect opportunity for people who know Christ and love Christ to respond instead of an obsession with comfort, but with compassion. Giving until it hurts, even. So, it's something to consider, I guess, is it's not enough to just simply, well, we have these extra peanut butter jars or whatever, we'll just give them away. Maybe stop thinking of yourself first, because the main reason that you hoarded that stuff is so that you could use it, and if there's excess, you could give it away. Instead of just thinking about, well, someone else might need this, and leaving it there for them to get it. And you know what? There's, well, if I don't hoard it, someone else will. So, do not let someone else's sin be an excuse for your sin.